Hello, everyone. It's the Scouser here. Just to let you know, we've had a bit of a Zoom malfunction on our interview with the one and only Billy Gray from Fozzy. So we are still playing it. It's just going to have pictures in the background. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe, and hopefully we'll get Billy back on for another one. But it's quite a good interview, this one. Like, I think it hits home with everyone. So speak to you soon.
Well, here we are once again, the Scouser and the
Scot.
And we
Now,
got
today I'm a little bit stoked by this. I am a little bit stoked by this because I've been watching this guy for best part of it. It must be close to about 20 years, I think it is, since you joined Fozzy. Like, so just to give you an insight, we've got Billy Gray from Fozzy here, guys. Billy, how you doing, mate? Welcome on board.
Thank you very much for having me, dude. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. Just here in an undisclosed location of the North Georgia Appalachian Mountains, and I hate to bring this up at the beginning of our interview, but my idol passed away today. His name's Eddie Van Halen, and I just got that news. So I hate to be. I'm not trying to spread bad news, but my heart's a little heavy on this one right here, buddy. Yeah, I don't know if you heard it. It's just been.
I haven't heard that. Wow.
Just been, yeah, dude. It's like it's got me in the throat a little bit right there. You know what I mean?
No
well,
way.
I think,
yeah, because he's the reason I'm playing guitar.
Wow, that's an exclusive for me as well, mate. So as you can tell by my face, I'm absolutely.
I'm the same way, buddy. I'm the same way, Ian.
Yeah, well.
I think if there's if there's one thing we can say though, you just said the words that he inspired you to pick up a guitar and play, Billy, and
yes.
In a way it's quite apt, sad though that it is, and it is really sad because I remember the first time I heard him, and he played Eruption, I think it was, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And but I think that's what this is about as well. We want you to inspire the next generation, a guitarist in the way he did with you. So I'm sure wherever he is, he's looking down and thinking, this is the way to do it, guys. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, totally.
And
totally.
I've got I've got one of those funny stories about Van Halen. And do you know what? I'm going to tell it now, because it's been all over Facebook, and it's one of my favorite stories. That he went to a Tool concert, and some guy said, "Can you take a photo?" And he thought it was of him, and he just went, "No, can you take a photo of the stage with me in front of it?" Didn't even recognize Eddie Van Halen, and it was just one of them where he was like, "I'm enjoying the gig and I'm loving it." And do you know what? He's one of the most down to earth, you know what I mean, that he could spend time with fans as well. And
yes,
that has absolutely shocked me. As you say, he's an idol to everyone who picks up the guitar. He
really is.
so many different things. As I say, I'm speechless at the moment.
I know, man. Me too, bro. Sorry to bring the bad news, but
wow.
I just heard it.
Yeah. So as I say, guys, if anyone's listening, when we play this out, guys, anyone who plays Eruption, we will do something and share it with share it with our channel. We want to see your best Eruptions. So So I don't know what to start with that one then. John, do you want to ask your question, mate? Because as I say, that's
How did you get into playing the guitar, and what was the first song you learned to play, Billy?
The first song I learned was Stairway to Heaven, as a lot of people, because, and you know what, I'm a guitar teacher as well. I do Skype lessons and have been doing them for years. So a lot of my students, I actually, I'll actually start them with that. If they're into the song, that's a good one because it has a lot of finger picking or hybrid picking, has bar chords, it has all kinds of styles, strumming, this, that, and the other. Okay, and here we go. When I heard Eruption, after, this was after, learning Stairway to Heaven, that my friends had the Van Halen 1 record. I heard Eruption, and that was it for me. So that Eddie Van Halen is the #1 influence of my life for the guitar. Then we have Randy Rhoads, and then I love Dimebag Darrell. I love dude, there's so many of them. I love, you know what, the dude Jerry Reed. I don't know if you know him. He's a country chicken picker from
Yeah.
back in the day. He's awesome, dude. And those type of players, and even even Tom Morello and the stuff, the innovation he did, it inspired me back in the day as well. So yeah, those are definitely Eddie Van Halen's my main influence. And my first song I learned was "Stairway to Heaven."
Man, that's cool. As long as you don't play it in the music shops, obviously, we know
Ah,
the unwritten
don't.
rule. Unwritten rule.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
do love the old chicken picking, like a major fan of Zach Wild.
Yeah, he's a master at it. Yes, yes.
Mate, he is phenomenal at it, like, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Rumor has it, well, we've seen it on your website that you're endorsed by Kiesel Guitars. Now, they are a serious piece of kit. Especially the
Yes.
black one with the naked neck on it. Absolutely love that, Billy.
Thank you, dude.
What's your actual setup on it? What strings are you using? Like, have you got different strings, different songs, or is it what you go to?
Yeah, okay. Let's here's what we'll do. We'll start off with the guitar. It's a Maybach Kiesel, obviously. It's a mahogany body with an ash top, and maple fretboard, maple neck, just raw maple. It has my signature Pariah pickups. They're the gray matter twos, and they're in the guitar. And the strings I use are DR strings. I use a real heavy on the low, 56, 46, and 36,
Right.
and
Okay.
then a 18, 13, and 10 on the
Right.
highs. Yeah, and
So it's quite
it's a
low end then,
custom.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a custom gauge setup made for me by DR. So yeah, man, that's my gauge of strings, the pickups, and the guitar right there.
That's a nice piece of kit, mate. As I say, the tone itself, it really it generates from the actual strings. You can tell that straight away, especially in some of your Scar. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one. Scar of the Tooth, I think it is, or something like that.
Tattoo the scars.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh
yes.
man, that is a heavy ass riff. That absolutely love it, mate. Seriously,
Thank you,
I'm
dude. Thank
big
you.
into that sort of stuff. Like so. And who does your actual setups then? Like, do you do it yourself, or do you teach? Obviously, teaching is, and you were saying about the actual setup. Do you teach them how to do the setups with the guitar as well online, or?
On setups, I'm not really that good at it, Ian. I'm okay at it, like, because that's another art form in itself.
Oh, 100%.
Me, I'm a guy that, like, I'm a pick it up and play guy. Yeah, if it doesn't
Yes.
play good and I can't set it up good, I get discouraged and I take it to my guy at Jaws Guitars. His name's Jimmy Jaws, and he sets them up. So, and that's here in Georgia, and he does a very good job at it. But me, I'm just a player. You know what I mean? I try and experiment with setting up and intonation, but yeah, if I get discouraged with it, I'm like, and so I just, my patience are low on things like that.
It's always amazed me because as somebody that's never, I used to sing with bands. I was a singer. So obviously I was too busy posing about to learn to play any instrument. But one thing that I always wanted to do is be a guitarist, but I was never sure. So I always went by what something looked like. So I always wanted a white Les Paul. That's all I wanted.
Oh, I love those.
And then I spoke to guitarists and they were like trying to talk me out of it for all the reasons. And for somebody that's starting out in a guitar, and they maybe don't have a lot of money, how do you go about as guitarists choosing, because you can't go and like just take them and try them and then take them back, etc. So how do you go about working out what guitars are best for you?
Yep, do this. Go if you're a guitar player and you like a certain song and it's your favorite song, find out, research what kind of guitar is on there. And if you can't afford, like, say if they say it's a Fender Stratocaster, all right, well, those are expensive as all get out. Find a nice copy, a lower line Fender, a Squire possibly, okay? Then when you go buy said guitar, all right, check every note on the fretboard. All right, so that means put your finger on the first fret, strum that top string, make sure that note's clear. Do it on every string all the way up the fretboard to make sure it's set up properly. Then look at the string height on the guitar. Like, say you're looking at it from the side, how far the strings are off of the neck, and if they're more than, say, if they're like an eighth of an inch or more off of there, they need to have it set up, okay? And then always check, plug the guitar in and check the volume and the tone knobs and the toggle switch. Check the tuners, make sure they're working good, but mainly check that action and make sure every note is clear. And that's how I would say to go about getting a guitar. So, like I said, if your favorite song is uh, "Ain't Talking About Love" by Van Halen, that's a Strat. So, go for start looking for a Strat. And if you can't afford a higher line one, then go for a lower line one, and you could still make it all work.
Yeah, I can remember somebody saying that, the Gibson necks were thicker, chunkier, so the more difficult to learn on. That's what they were telling me. So they were telling me to go for more of a Fender style neck. But I did what I did best. I just decided to give up. Be a drummer.
oh, oh my God. Don't do that.
I can't argue with this one. I'm a guitarist, so I'm on your side on this one, Billy.
Don't give up.
Obviously, I've seen you on Instagram quite a few times. I've seen you play live as well. Our mates, Stone Broken, went on an American tour with you guys a couple of years ago. So know them well. I have got a question for you regarding amps, which is the holy grail, especially in the time of digital and Valve. I see that you've got a Kemper.
Yes.
Nice piece of kit. I've got a Line 6 Helix.
Yep.
It does what it does. Absolutely great for recording, demo tracks and bits and pieces. Do you use it live or is it valves all the way? And which one do you prefer?
I do an integration. I use the Kemper and I integrate it with my Laney Ironheart.
Yeah.
Using the preamp section and the tubes, and mainly using the Kemper for all of the inside MIDI effects that it has, because it's a lot, it has all those effects built in. I use outboard effects too, but definitely for live, an integration of the Kemper with Laney Ironheart amp head and 2 412 cabinets.
Nice. So is there any certain valves that you use or anything, or is it just custom for the Ironheart?
The ones that are custom for the Ironheart are the ones I use in there right now.
Okay, cool.
One of the questions I've always liked to ask is tone. I notice a difference because as a singer, I always notice the different tones in guitars, and I believe that guitarists sometimes struggle to get the tone. Have you any sort of advice you could give about tone in guitars and etc. to achieve the sound that you're looking for?
As far as tuning, you said?
The tone, really.
Tones? Is there any advice about tones? Well, the way I look at it is this, all right? The tone starts basically from your mind, goes through your soul, comes through your hands. Then through your hands, you go to the strings, all right? So then from those strings goes right through those pickups into the body of the wood of the guitar. Then it comes through that cable and out of the amplifier. When we're talking electric guitar
it's
scenario.
100%. Yeah.
Yes. So you got to think about that as like, think about how your hand attacks the strings as to how much output you want on your pickups. Think about how strong your left hand is and how much how much sliding and stuff is heard through your playing style and just kind of build your tone around that, trying to make it as clean yet as smooth as possible.
Do you notice any difference, Billy, from playing in a smaller venue to playing when you was on stage with Maiden, like in a big arena?
Yeah, every room, as far as tone, sounds different. You can have your rig sounding good one night in a room, to go in a room the same size the next night, it's going to sound different. So you just got to get it to the ballpark, and then you just like adjust it to the room or the venue you're playing. Is what I do.
Quick question, and if it's possible, can you give us a rundown of your rig, what you use at home and what you use on stage?
Yep. On stage, I use that the integration of the Laney Ironheart valve head with 2 412 cabinets and it's integrated with the Kemper, and just pretty much that, you know. And as far as the effects of any kind, they're all in the Kemper. So I just use a MIDI controller, and up at the front, sometimes I use, depending on our set, I'll use a whammy pedal. Always use Kiesel guitars. They've been my favorites for the past 3 years. And
Nice.
yeah, and I was a Gibson Les Paul guy before that, and still own a couple of Les Pauls. But yeah, Kiesel all the way right now. And I use DR strings, okay, for studio and live, and as well as Pariah pickups for studio and live. And the studio setup's pretty much the same. You know, there's not much difference. And sometimes with the studio, I'll throw in like a Splawn head in there for a mix of the Splawn and the Ironheart as well. A friend of mine has a Splawn, and it has a nice studio with a couple of different killer heads. And we'll throw a Splawn or a Marshall JCM along with that setup I just explained to you, the Ironheart and the Kemper. So that's the studio setup, just for a mix of different tones.
So how do you actually do the writing? What's the writing process for Fozzy? Is it you throw a riff down, pass it over to the Duke
Um,
plays around, and or is it completely different for Fozzy? Is there a different setup?
it's different. Mainly the writing on the last record was done with Rich and Johnny Andrews, who was the
Yep.
producer and main writer on the record. And I pretty much just wrote my own parts on this last
Okay.
record. Yeah,
That's
on that
cool.
last one we did. Yeah.
So have you any plans for a solo? I know I've seen you
Dude, I
write.
have it. I've already got the video filmed. I'm just waiting. We're gonna release it on November 20th. All right.
Is that an
And
exclusive for our channel? Can
yeah,
we?
that's it. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know
November
it?
20th. Yeah. The video's done. The project is called Gray Winter Road. All right. And it's me and Dusty Winter Road from Tattoo the Scars. He's a drummer.
Yeah.
And actually, Randy Drake from Fozzy played bass on the track that I'm going to release. And it's called Cascades of Fire.
What are we looking at then? Is it going to be full of shred, full of heavy guitar, chunky
Um,
riff, or
Dude,
is it going to be surprised?
there's a bit of atmospheric guitar in there, like, you know, laid back.
Floating?
Um, yeah, maybe you would say that. Maybe new school atmospheric. Comparable. The beginning of the song's kind of comparable to Joe Satriani style, and then goes
Nice.
into goes into straight up metal shred, and got some classical guitar in it. So it goes all over the place. And all of my solo guitar record that I'm going to put out is going to be like that. No boundaries.
That's what we want to hear, mate.
Yeah. When you're talking about music, etc., and you're doing your own thing, do you ever actually go out, get time to go out and watch other bands? And if you do you ever go and see unsigned bands?
Yes, I see them a lot. Not as much now with these days, but I used to, and it was always a joy to be on tour and see unsigned bands, because you know you have different local openers in every town, so you will see a lot of great bands out there that are unsigned, and it could be the next big thing. Is there are so many good ones out there.
Mm.
It always keeps you on your toes, you know, keeps you on your A game. To me,
So recently,
The best way, mate.
let's say in the last year or so, have you seen any sort of newbies though coming through that you've thought, oh wow, they've really got something different?
Something different, I would say, would be Like Machines. They are a great band. They're called Like Machines, Like Machines. They're one of them. I don't know if they're still around, but there was a Finnish band called Santa Cruz. They were awesome too, man. Those are two that that definitely stand out with me.
Ah, that's excellent.
So, Billy, from obviously you get ready for the tour. Obviously, another Fozzy tour has been moved back till 2021.
Yes.
How do you prepare for it? Like, you know, obviously you've got to get fit for it, but what's the practice routines, the actual setups for how when do you start preparing for it?
For a Fozzy tour, pretty much for me, I would say like a month before the tour. Like I got my studio downstairs, so I'll go through the set that we're gonna do, or just play all the songs from, you know, past sets and be ready. And then the band will get together, you know, 2 to 3 days before the bus picks us up to roll.
Right.
and we'll pre-produce the set a little bit and be ready.
Is that wow? So it's only 2 days before that you actually all get together and do
Yeah,
your own
yeah,
little bits.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
quite a tight time scale, that isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But you know what? I mean, we've been doing it, so I mean, it's that's the way we've done it for years, and it seems to work.
That's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
I'm guessing, Billy, that in the early days it probably took you longer to do that. You know, it's just because you've been playing with the same guy for so long now.
That's exactly right. Yes. Excuse me. Yes, that's exactly right, dude. Yes.
Yeah. So playing guitar, as I found to my cost, is always a steep learning curve. And you've mentioned some of the guys that made you pick up the guitars. Could you just go through some of them, some of the guitarists that you've seen, and you've literally watched them do something, and you've thought, I need to learn that. It's not something I know how to do. Is there any guitarist that you can talk about that you would say to new guitarists that may not have heard of
Yeah.
them, or may not check them out to check out?
Yeah. Check out Pliny, Plini. He's one of those guitar players that just does magical things with the instrument. Okay. And Pliny, Andy James is one that's awesome too. He's a British guy, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And then as far as the blues, you got to see Jared James Nichols. Okay. He is one of the best to walk the planet. So those are three right there that are going to be around and going to be in the eyes of people for a long time to come. Eyes and ears of people for a long time to come.
I've definitely seen. I've seen Andy James. He's phenomenal. Absolutely
Yeah.
unbelievable. Jared James, yeah, completely agree with you on that. Some
Love
of the
him.
finger picking is phenomenal. It's next
Dude, he
level.
rules. Yes.
Oh yeah, completely. I'm going to check out Pliny though. That sounds really
Yeah,
interesting.
check him out. You like him, dude. I'm telling you, you'll love it.
That is absolutely awesome. Well, Billy, what can I say, mate? I really do appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. We've had Billy Gray talking us through his setup, his what he does to get out there and play live. Unfortunately, Billy, as you said at the start of the meet, I am absolutely devastated by the news
Yeah.
that Eddie Van Halen's passed away. It's heartbreaking. I can't even speak at the moment regarding it. So apologies if the interview hasn't been as flowing as normal. It has really knocked me a little bit, to be perfectly honest.
Me too, Ian. Thank you for having me on here, dude. It's great and a pleasure to be on here. Great show about genuine musical things, and instead of not just BSing on stuff outside the realm. We kept it rock and roll and kept it music, man. I love interviews like this.
Thanks again, Billy. We can't thank you enough, mate. As I say, we'll love you to have you back on again if you'd want to be on. And
yeah, maybe before the solo song. All right.
We'll do a live one if you want, Billy. We'll do you so you can pimp your song out, and we'll get it out there for you in the UK.
Sounds good.
That
sounds good, Ian.
We'll sort it out for you. We'll make it happen, Billy. Thanks again. John,
thank you so much.
You, mate.
Cheers, Billy. So we have been the Scouser and the Scot. And until next time, remember, hit that cowbell and subscribe.